I got my hands on the Half-Life 2 RTX demo early. Now, I don't have much time to make this video, and rather than getting too carried away, here are some first thoughts from playing through the Raven Home chapter of the game. These environments may be over 20 years old, yet they seem designed for this project, being the perfect showcase for what remix and path tracing can do. Nothing about this remake feels out of place or wrong. It is faithful to the original, yet brings it up to, well, I was going to say modern standards, but there's something distinctly futuristic about how this whole thing looks. First impressions are important, and if I'm honest, my first impression was, ooh, that swinging body in the distance looks a bit blurry, let's make sure I have ray reconstruction on. And that was a bit of a harsh first impression, because my second, third and 100th impressions were all variations of wow, like how I oogled at the translucent look of the head crabs. They're gruesomely beautiful now. The fact that light seems to bleed through them almost makes them emit colours that I've never seen before from my screen. These creatures are a glorious patchwork of disgusting textures and colour shades. At first glance they almost look like ghosts now. Almost seems wrong. But once I got my face right up and close and personal to these things, I was just as curious to experiment with them as I was with ragdoll physics or with real-time water effects back in the day when I saw those things for the first time. Seeing this on our screens is just a weird looking effect that we're not used to seeing from a video game. Another thing I noticed from this game was very enthusiastic looking explosion particle effects. I can't even remember if the originals had these same particles. But now these flaming chunks of debris enthusiastically tumble around the environment, bouncing about, lighting it all up in real time. It seems like another great showcase of what path tracing can do. This flaming alleyway, again, seems like it was designed with real-time lighting in mind, and having all those fiery zombies staggering towards me, casting blotchy shadows behind everything in real time is something I'm simply not used to seeing done. We're living in the future. And this medic kit here has a light attached to it, which I obviously had to use to light up dark corners and then to put halfway through a translucent head crab, just because. And to be able to plunge an entire environment into blackness just by covering up the only light source around with a crate feels otherworldly too, especially when it's in a place that I'm so familiar with already. I personally think the volumetric fog looks beautiful, but it can be overdone to the point where it's like you're standing in a very foggy room. And it is by far the slowest effect to update once the lighting conditions have changed. You can see it slowly fading and then quickly appearing again once the barrel is removed from the light source again here. But I don't just want to dwell on the technical side, because the artistic vision of this project is spot on. I can go up to any surface or creature and toggle the remade assets on and off, and the difference this makes is maybe even more important than the path tracing is. Which is just as well, because it isn't quite so easy to toggle the ray tracing on and off, since that would require loading up the original Half-Life 2 again and so on. But what a stunning job the artists at Oberfold Studios have done in re-envisioning all of these original assets. I couldn't wait to push my face right up into the decaying concrete or into a decaying exposed skull in this game. Everything was just beautiful in a grotesque, grimy kind of way. And it's all got lovely parallax effects to make it look 3D, but it's not overly done. The effect never looks broken or over the top, it just looks right. So is this whole thing perfect? Almost. There is still some delay to updating environments for the latest lighting. Some of the shadows still look a bit blotchy and jagged, and even with the new Transformer DLSS models and with ray reconstruction, there are still some smears behind moving objects sometimes. And some of the particles are really overdone, especially the smoke that's on the gun casings once they've been ejected from the weapon. This, combined with the very overpowering volumetric fog effects, can sometimes make it very difficult to see what's going on. But all this stuff does little to lessen the impact of the rest of this experience. I can imagine this version of Half-Life 2 will be the golden standard to play this game in for many years to come. It is that good, and I'm really going to enjoy playing through this game when it's all released. I can't wait to see what sunlit environments will look like either, since right now we're restricted to seeing it in nighttime or in indoor locations. Although, given how well I know the source engine, this could be how it looks. So yeah, what an incredible demonstration of how modern tools and techniques can overhaul a classic game. And again, I want to point out the human element here. I can really appreciate how much skill has gone into developing this. It has taken hundreds of talented people years to get to this point. Don't take that for granted. But Half-Life 2 RTX shows us that the future for game remakes really is bright, and hopefully full of translucent skin materials.